Welcome to Huntsville, Alabama for the 1993 Professional Disc Golf Association World Championships. I'm Michael Carrier, and we're out here for the final 9 today in 3 divisions of this tournament. But before we see any of that action, we're going to go back to earlier in the week where we had some very close contests. This 12th annual World Championships of Disc Golf is sponsored by Pizza Hut. Stop and smell the pizza. It will be played on 4 18-hole courses in Huntsville, challenging a full range of player skills. 264 golfers from around the world will be tested by the dense woods of the 18 holes of Bronze Springs. Huntsville's U.S. Army base contains the Redstone Arsenal Disc Golf Course, which combines short, tight holes with longer holes with danger on both sides of the fairway. Tournament Central is the University of Alabama at Huntsville, where a temporary 6,900-foot course winding around trees and over water has been added to the permanent 18-hole North Campus course. Tournament divisions are divided for men and women in these 6 categories. Age before beauty, we will begin our coverage with our men's senior grandmasters. First on the tee at Redstone Arsenal is 59-year-old Richard McAleer, an electrician from North Hollywood, California. And McAleer throws a roller. It's rolling over to the left, and he's going to have about 45 to 50 feet for birdie. Next up is Ohio's Bill Erkenberger.
You got that voice actuated disc.
Erkenberger taking a look at the low ceiling, and he's throwing a roller, like most players, to sneak it under the low branches of the trees that guard this fairway. Very nice roller. He's going to have 40 feet left for birdie. Dr. Robert Baum of Bowling Green, Kentucky is a relative newcomer to the game. With the forehand roller, and that takes a bad bounce there, and he's going to be well left of the hole, at least 50 feet away. Dr. Stancil Johnson is the author of 2 books on flying disc sports. Johnson writes, "When a ball dreams, it dreams of being a frisbee." Johnson's lining up a forehand roller. And there it goes. Johnson's going well left. 61-year-old Ralph Williamson, who calls himself the head geezer, is one of the founding fathers of disc golf.
I've been playing ball golf for 50 years and disc golf for 25 years. In the early days, you know, we picked objects, but today we have whole holes. So I've been playing 25 years. I'd say that disc golf requires every bit as much skill and training as any ball golf ever did, possibly a little bit more.
Williamson has plenty on that shot. And with no help from the trees behind the basket, he rolls 35 feet past. This is the shortest hole at the Redstone Arsenal course, the longest 800 feet. But in disc golf, all holes are par 3. Each 18-hole course, par 54. This is Stancil Johnson for birdie 2. Johnson's disc will have to cover 50 feet to make it into the chains. And he's off to the left. Robert Baum for birdie. Oh, and Baum is just off the front of the basket. Bill Erkenberger from 35 feet. A beautiful putt right in the middle of the basket. And here's Richard McAleer for his 2. And he's gone past. He'll have a 35-foot comebacker. Ralph Williamson lining up his putt from about 30-35 feet. And he comes up just short. McAleer's shot goes through the chains, and he'll have to settle for a bogey 4. In disc golf, the hole is completed when the disc comes to rest in the basket or in the chains. And play is underway in the Senior Grandmaster Division of the 1993 PDGA World Championships of Disc Golf. And jumping ahead, 135 holes ahead to be exact, we'll pick up action at the University of Huntsville North Course, where with 10 holes to play, Richard McAleer is holding a 3-stroke lead over Dr. Robert Baum and has a 4-stroke advantage over defending Senior Grandmaster champ Ralph Williamson. First on the tee of this 8th hole of the final round, Richard McAleer. And McAleer has pushed that shot well to the right. And out of bounds. Lee. Robert Baum, unusual approach, throwing an overhead, and he'll have about a 45-foot putt for birdie. Now Ralph Williamson, defending champion. Smooth release, right on line. But that one's coming up short. Needed a little more punch on that. Now here's McAleer with his third shot after the penalty stroke. And he'll have that putt left for bogey 4. Now Williamson. He's got the height, but he leaves it just left. With this putt, Robert Baum could move to within one stroke of McAleer. He's about 45 feet away. Laying it up under the basket. Williamson just sneaking that one over for par. And now Richard McAleer. This is for bogey 4. And he converts his bogey. Over the next several holes, McAleer's slim lead continues to erode until finally it comes down to the final hole and the final shot of the tournament. Williamson needs this putt to tie McAleer. And it falls short. McAleer lays the disc up for a drop in 3 and his first major tournament victory. And here are the final results for our top 3 men's senior grandmaster finishers. Just ahead, we'll have coverage of the women's open division.
Serious times demand serious men.
Hard work is the reward for hard work.
Tenacity, gumption, discipline.
Sometimes you've got to stop and smell the pizza.
For 30 years, millions of people in countries around the world have been flying discs from Wham-O. From the original Frisbees inscribed with Play Catch, Invent Games, Wham-O has been the leader in flying disc innovation and technology. So whether you're at home playing a relaxed game of Frisbee or in the middle of world-class competition, Wham-O has the flying disc for you. Wham-O, the first name in flying disc sports. We're back at the PDGA Disc Golf World Championships in Huntsville. Let's take a look at the Women's Open Division. Among this year's competitors, Chris O'Cleary from Atlanta, the 1989 and 1990 PDGA World Champion. Becky Powell from Houston, Texas, playing in her first World Championships. North Carolina's Beth Tanner, last year's PDGA Women's Rookie of the Year. Elaine King from Toronto, Ontario, the 1991 and 1992 Women's Disc Golf Champion. After 8 rounds of golf, 8 rounds identical to those played by every competitor in this tournament, Elaine King has a commanding 15-stroke lead. These 4 women are now on the tee of the first hole of the final 9 of golf. Elaine King has proven to be the most consistent disc golfer on tour this year. But maintaining that consistency is not always easy. Elaine, you were telling me you had some concentration lapses today.
Yes, the second round, I felt my concentration kind of wavering in and out. It's been a long week of golf. Sometimes I just choose one aspect of my throw to concentrate on and just let the rest follow.
And King has started this drive well left, and it's going to be short of the basket by about 140 feet. Now O'Cleary. A very nice shot by O'Cleary. Well down the fairway. Beautiful drive. O'Cleary, a gallery favorite here. Now Beth Tanner. Tanner in her first World Championships. And Tanner with a nice drive. She started it off well to the left, but it's hooking back. A very nice drive. Now Becky Powell from Houston, Texas, also playing in her first World Championship. And Powell's cutting it to the inside and taking a more direct route. She's got 120 feet to the basket. Here's Powell for her par 3. And Powell drops it in. Powell doesn't seem distracted at all with her first experience playing in front of a gallery. Now here's O'Cleary. And she drops in her par 3. And Beth Tanner drops in her par 3. Moving ahead to the 570-foot, 9th and final hole, Elaine King has maintained her commanding lead. Here's Beth Tanner's second shot. And that's heading right at the basket. Hard to tell from this angle, but it comes up about 70 feet short. Now King. And she's thrown it way to the right, heading toward out of bounds, but it's hooking back, and it stays just in bounds. Now O'Cleary's second shot. She's keeping it low, and she's pointing it in the right direction here. Very nice shot. She'll have a 35-footer for her par. Now here's O'Cleary for par from 30 feet. And there's a very nice way to end what's been a fine week of golf for our second-place finisher. O'Cleary receiving congratulations from King, who just needs to sail one last putt into the chains to claim her third consecutive Women's Open World Championship. King trying to make quick work, one final shot. And there it is. And here are the final results for our top 4 finishers in the Women's Open division. Now let's move ahead to the Women's Masters division, where the contest is as close as it can be. With 4 holes to play, Californian Beth Varish is tied for the lead at 32 over par. This hole, 220 feet. And Varish lets it go. It's heading straight at the basket. Beautiful drive. That's 5 feet from the pin.
Nice shot. Great. Wow.
Tied with Varish is Sylvia Vokes from Bowling Green, Kentucky. There's another smoothly thrown disc. This one's coming up just short. She'll have 25 feet for a birdie. Sylvia Vokes for birdie. And Vokes a beautiful putt. She'll keep pace with Beth Varish, who has about 3 feet left for her birdie. Varish drops it in. Both women now tied at 31 over par. Having thrown 460 shots, everything comes down to this final putt for Beth Varish. If she misses, she and Sylvia Vokes will go to a playoff for the title. And she's done it. The sound of those chains are the sound of victory for Californian Beth Varish.
How did it feel to compete against your friends today and to take the win?
Oh, it was great. This is the friendliest foursome I've ever played in, and I've been playing for 16 years. Everyone was very supportive, and it was a great thrill to play with them. World-class players.
53, 1 under, Beth. That is such great shooting.
Because I was with you guys.
This is last year's world champion.
She had surgery on her knee and she couldn't be out here this year.
Okay, let's have.
Very supportive.
Our final results for the top 4 Women's Masters golfers. When we come back, we'll begin our coverage of our Men's Open division.
Once my mom sat down to read us all a story, and just as she started, the phone rang. It was Aunt Doris. Then a salesman called. Then a wrong number. Then Aunt Doris called again. And then Mom kind of lost it and said, "Kids, we're going to Pizza Hut." Boy, was it good. It's like Mom says, "Kids, sometimes you gotta stop and smell the pizza."
Steve Weisskopf, Steve Valencia, 2 of the top disc golfers on the Pro Tour. Their choice of plastic is Discraft. Whether you're a novice or a veteran of the Disc Golf Tour, Discraft has a high-performance golf disc for all your needs. Discraft has been making quality professional sports discs for more than 15 years. So when you have to get it into the basket, choose the best. Choose Discraft.
Here's just a few of the 1,001 reasons you won't want to miss Cinemax this summer. Because Cinemax has more movies than any other premium channel, and only Cinemax can bring you the biggest movie marathon ever. The summer of 1,001 movies, the most movies on television, period. The best movie network, period. Cinemax, period.
Call the number on your screen and order Cinemax now.
In the quest for the third straight division title, every game is crucial. Braves, Mets, live Wednesday night at 7:30 on Sports South.
Open Division players include some of disc golf's top promoters, world record holders, and champions. Sam Ferrens of La Mirada, California, holds the current distance record with a flying disc, listed in the Guinness Book of World Records at more than 190 meters. Mitch McClellan of Norman, Oklahoma, has several top 10 finishes in the World Championships. Californian Scott Stokely is the owner of Airborne Sports Alternative Sports Shop in San Francisco. Fredrik Ranesen from Stockholm is Sweden's current disc golf champion. Steve Valencia from Riverside, California was recently named 1992's Disc Golfer of the Year. Clearwater's Ken Climo has won the PDGA World Championships 3 years in a row. Playing before the hometown crowd, Huntsville's Dean Tannick is the current Alabama overall disc champion. Texan Eric Marks, the current 35 and over Masters World Champion, has opted to play in the Open Division this year. Former world champ John Brooks, a major supporter of disc golf in Japan, divides his time between Tokyo and Kansas City, Missouri. We will pick up the Open Pro action at the densely wooded Bronze Springs. After 3 holes of the 6th round of play, John Brooks maintains the slimmest of leads over defending champ Ken Climo. We'll begin our action on the 250-foot hole 4 at Bronze Springs. Like most holes on this course, it requires a precision throw through the trees. First on the tee, perhaps one of the tallest disc golfers on tour, 6'7" Scott Stokely. And Stokely takes a high route through the trees, skipping past the basket. Now John Brooks. And Brooks takes a little bit off it. It looks to be coming up short. Now Climo. Climo taking a similar route to Brooks, a little bit longer, and he's put it right under the basket. Now Mitch McClellan from Oklahoma. And McClellan as well is going right at the basket. And he's parked it right next to Climo. Now local Dean Tannick. Tannick looks to be coming up a little bit short. Now Stokely lining up a horseshoe putt. And it comes up just short of the basket. Now Brooks for birdie from 25 feet. Right down the middle. Brooks, his putting game has really come together this round. Now Climo for birdie. And McClellan drills his birdie 2 in the middle of the chains. Stokely drops in his 3. Moving ahead to the tight and often treacherous 204-foot 18th hole, Brooks maintains a one-shot advantage over Climo. First on the tee on 18, Mitch McClellan, who's currently in 3rd place. McClellan lining up the fairway, lets it go, a late tree, and it scoots about 50 feet to the left of the basket. Now our leader, John Brooks. And Brooks lets it go low, gets a skip, and he's right under the basket. Dean Tannick. And Tannick looks a little strong on this one, and he's put it well past the hole. Now Climo. Nice smooth release. That one looks perfect. Scott Stokely. Using a sidearm here. When he started it out left, and he's hit a tree, and he'll have a long putt for birdie. Climo, this will be from about 15 feet. Automatic for Climo. And now John Brooks, who with this putt will end the day with a one-stroke lead. And he's done it. And after 3 days, Brooks maintains his lead.
How did it feel to play a different kind of course?
Oh, it's tight. It has a lot of familiarity from Oak Grove, but the trees really make you think. It has a tendency to make people putt low, I've noticed, because of the cloud cover and the trees has how it is. I'd say it's better to play skip shots. That's the key out here. Timing your skip.
You made a move, you're one stroke behind. How'd you feel playing in the trees today?
It felt good. It's really kind of course where you got to be relaxed and play smoothly. You can't go for the big shots. You just got to throw them down, make sure they get through the trees. And I felt good all day. I putted well. I'm happy that I came out 20 under on the day.
And after 3 days of these World Championships and 6 rounds of golf, here's a look at our leaderboard. And when we return to Huntsville, we'll pick up the action at the wide open university course.
Serious times demand serious men.
Hard work is the reward for hard work.
Tenacity, gumption, discipline.
Sometimes you've got to stop and smell the pizza.
The top-rated tournament on the professional disc golf circuit is the Laurel Springs Open. Boylan Family Farms on the foothills of Virginia's beautiful Appalachian Mountains is home to the 52 acres of the most challenging disc golf in the world. An international field will be on hand for the 1994 Laurel Springs Open, July 22nd through the 24th. Accept the challenge of disc golf at its best. Laurel Springs.
Every battle starts with a war fought from within. Matched by the physical skills needed to TKO the championship dream. Second place is reserved for the losers, because the last man standing when the final bell rings is the winner. Fight Night.
Live Monday night at 11 on Sports South.
We're going to pick up our men's open coverage in the 9th round of play at the University of Alabama. After 6 holes, Kenny Climo has moved into first place, 3 shots ahead of McClellan and Tannick. John Brooks, now in 4th, is 4 shots off the pace. The university's North Course hole 7 contrasts greatly with anything seen at Bronze Springs. First on the tee is Dean Tannick, who's been putting on quite a charge this round with several long birdie putts. And he's got his drive going straight at the basket, a little bit low, and comes up just short. He'll have 25 feet left for birdie. He's happy with that one. Mitch McClellan is up next. And McClellan as well. Starts it off a little bit to the right, and McClellan will have about 25 feet for birdie. Now Brooks. Little stutter step there. And Brooks gets it up in the air a little bit. It's getting caught up in that crosswind, and it will come up about 35 feet short. Now Climo, and there is Climo's power at its best. It's drilled at the basket. And all the way up to the pin, he'll have a drop in for birdie. Brooks, birdie putt here. And Brooks punches it in the basket. His putting game has really come together this round. Now McClellan approaches his lie. And there's something you don't see very often. Now Tannick. And Tannick got away with one there, just sneaking that one in the left side of the chains. Now Climo. And Climo drops it in for his birdie. And at the end of our semifinal round of play, with just a final 9 holes of golf to go, Ken Climo remains the leader by 4 strokes. Moving away from the Open division for now, let's check in with our men's grandmasters. Gainesville's Tom Monroe, who one Florida sports writer describes as the Jack Nicklaus of disc golf, has a well-developed philosophy when it comes to approaching this sport.
The mental game is very important. The mental game really doesn't come into play unless the mechanical side is working. In the case of the older players, the mental game goes back for years and years, and you draw on all the experiences you've had in all the different disc sports that you've played. Basically, I go out and play a game of disc golf as though I were just having another day in the park. And if I can keep that attitude and just go out and play to have fun, that's when I shoot my best score.
Virginia's Mike Conger, or better known as Captain Snap because of the sound he makes when he releases the disc, his 45th birthday coincided with the first day of this tournament. He entered the Grandmaster division to give Tom Monroe a run for the title. But Tom Monroe's golf game left any challengers far behind. Tom Monroe on the tee. And there goes another picture-perfect drive by Monroe, heading straight at the chains. Monroe just disappointed he didn't ace that one. And now, Mike Conger, Captain Snap. It looks like it's going to head left. He'll have a 45-foot putt. Captain Snap lines it up. And it comes up short. Now Monroe for birdie. And there it is, like he's been doing all week. That's Monroe's 8th birdie in the last 9 holes.
This is what we call a happy scorecard.
And here are the final results for our top 4 Grandmaster finishers. And we'll be right back to Huntsville with our continued coverage of the 1993 Pizza Hut Disc Golf World Championships.
Once my mom sat down to read us all a story, and just as she started, the phone rang. It was Aunt Doris. Then a salesman called. Then a wrong number. Then Aunt Doris called again. And then Mom kind of lost it and said, "Kids, we're going to Pizza Hut." Boy, was it good. It's like Mom says. Kids, sometimes you gotta stop and smell the pizza.
Can Texaco System 3 gasolines help make a difference in performance?
System 3 performs in a car the way I perform in a car.
With System 3, anybody can perform like Mario and Andretti, but not in my county.
Every grade of Texaco System 3 performs in cars both new and old.
They do? Well, no wonder we're getting the horsepower we should be getting. Isn't that right, Auntie?
Count on System 3 for performance in your car.
Dad, could you drive like Mario and Andretti?
We bailed at 12K. I was shooting bids for the tube jocks over at Sports South. They wanted footage of a highly disciplined and well-trained unit. Needing the ultimate, they came to see me and the dudes. We tossed our mains, but mine was bogus. Thinking I was toast, I began to wig. I grubbed from my reserve chute and pulled and pulled.
Sports South's excellent summer. Don't try to pull this at home.
Back at the PDGA World Championships of Disc Golf, we're now ready to start the final 9 for our men's open division. The 5th through 8th place players teeing off first include Sweden's Fredrik Grannesson and Thomas Ekstrom, who together won the doubles best disc championship earlier this week. Fredrik Grannesson first on the tee. And that drive perfectly illustrates that arm speed and timing are the keys to successful long throws. Eric Marks up next. Marks, last year's Masters champion. Marks with an unorthodox approach to the tee. Doesn't come straight at it. And he's throwing a sky roller here, way up. It's got to cut through that high grass. And it's going to go to the right of the basket. He'll have about 40 feet for birdie. Next up, Thomas Ekstrom. Ekstrom's been throwing 4 500-foot-plus drives all week. And he's cutting that one real close to the trees. And sneaks it through. He'll have a 35-footer for birdie. Lefty Steve Valencia. Valencia as well is cutting it close to the trees. And he catches a branch there, but still will have a shot at a birdie. Now here's Granison for birdie. Just off to the left. Now Valencia. And that's an uncharacteristic putt for Steve Valencia. Thomas Ekstrom for birdie. Perfectly thrown, right in the chains. Eric Marks. Off left. Now our lead group. There's Ken Climo. These men getting ready to start off here. Climo, our leader, by 4 strokes, first on the tee. Climo appearing confident as always. And he is coming in close to the trees. And he's off the tree. He'll have 45 feet left for birdie. Dean Tannick. And Tannick is going to throw a roller here. Oh, and he skipped off the first tree, and the second tree, the last tree on the fairway, stopped his disc. He'll have to straddle around that tree from about 50 feet on his birdie attempt. Mitch McClellan is next. McClellan lining it up. McClellan with a roller. And that one looks right on line, just turning into the hillside. And it stops pin high. He'll have 20 feet for a birdie putt. Now Brooks. Brooks with the stutter step, and he's throwing an air shot. Looks to have enough power on it. It's cutting in. Beautiful shot by Brooks. Brooks is happy with that one. Now here's Tannick, straddling out from behind that tree. Oh, and he's left it well short. He'll have to get them up in the air if he's going to catch Climo. And Climo's off chain left. Not happy at all there. Now McClellan. And he drills it in the chains. McClellan now 3 strokes back of Climo with 8 holes to play. Now Brooks with that beautiful air shot. Drops it in for birdie. Brooks loves playing in front of the gallery. And we'll be right back to Huntsville and more disc golf.
Serious times demand serious men.
Hard work is the reward for hard work.
Tenacity, gumption, discipline.
Sometimes you've got to stop and smell the pizza.
When you go out to play, you're gonna get thirsty. Come out to play! So you better have your Gatorade. It quenches your deep down body thirst 30% faster than water. Come on, play! For that deep down body thirst.
Kids, test your football skills at the NFL Gatorade Punt, Pass, and Kick competition. Look for details at your participating grocer and local parks and recreation departments.
In the quest for the third straight division title, every game is crucial. Braves, Mets. Live Wednesday night at 7:30 on Sports South.
Volleyball's hotter. On the beat, the world's best hit the sand, serving up sizzling action as the game's top women unleash a relentless assault.
All summer on Sports South.
And we're back in Huntsville with more coverage of our men's open division. Frederick Granison, and there's a birdie for Frederick on the 4th hole of the final 9, and he maintains his hold on 5th place. Now on the tee of this 4th hole, Dean Tannick. Tannick, who knows if he has any hope of catching Kenny Climo, he's got to put a charge on right now. He has 3 strokes to make up and 5 holes to do it. This is a 386-foot, slightly downhill shot. Tannick starts it out way to the right, and it's hooking back left. It looks a little left of the basket, and he'll have a tough lie behind that tree from 35 feet. Now McClellan, also 3 behind Climo. McClellan starts it way out to the right, going out over the out of bounds, hooking in hard to the left, and he'll have 25, 30 feet for birdie. Now Brooks. Brooks has thrown it high, coming down straight toward the chains. And Brooks has put it past. He'll have a 35-footer for birdie. Now Kenny Climo. And Climo's put it up high, and it looks like the wind's got a hold of that one. It's going to be well left of the basket, and he's going to have a tough lie under those trees. Each person in the group, except Climo, has a birdie, yet Climo appears confident, holding his lead. Climo, not taking any chances, just lays it under the basket. Now Tannick for birdie. This shot could put him within 2 strokes of the lead. Oh, and he's left it just short and to the right. Now McClellan. And another drilled putt for McClellan, and he moves to within 3 strokes of the lead. The face of determination. Now Brooks. And Brooks line drives it into the chains. Brooks, who says playing gallery golf is his favorite thing. And with 5 holes remaining, it's Climo by 3 strokes over McClellan and Tannick. Brooks is 7 shots off the pace. We'll be right back.
Once my mom sat down to read us all a story, and just as she started, the phone rang. It was Aunt Doris. Then a salesman called. Then a wrong number. Then Aunt Doris called again. And then Mom kind of lost it and said, "Kids, we're going to Pizza Hut." Boy, was it good. It's like Mom says. Kids, sometimes you gotta stop and smell the pizza.
The PDGA is thousands of men, women, and children in the U.S. and around the world who enjoy the great sport of golf with a new twist. Won't you come join us? And remember, we are the PDGA! And we will
Never pay retail. Dial 1-800-GREAT-PRICE to get a 22-function stainless steel Army knife for only $9.95. It's the big one you've always wanted. Plus, order right now and get a free 13-function knife as a bonus. Use your credit card or personal check to order. These stainless steel Army knives are a super bargain, perfect for emergencies, for fun, for gifts. We've slashed the price to only $9.95, so call 1-800-GREAT-PRICE.
Alcoholism. It doesn't care how young you are.
Growing up had been difficult for me.
I couldn't talk to my parents. We'd always argue.
I felt alone, so I started drinking beer, then other things.
I couldn't stop. Then a friend told me about AA.
I'm lucky I got to stop drinking while I'm still a kid.
I found there are thousands of sober young people.
Alcoholics Anonymous. Look us up in the phone book. Or check your newspaper.
Volleyball's hotter. On the P, the world's best hit the sand, serving up sizzling action as the game's top women unleash a relentless assault.
All summer on Sports South.
Before we return to the men's open division, let's take a look at how our Masters men fared this week in Huntsville. Texan Don Wilczek, one of the top players in the world 10 years ago when he was last on the Pro Tour, is making a comeback this year in Huntsville. George Coffin, who was born and raised in Huntsville and now lives in Ohio, is returning home for this World Championships. And defending champion and three-time Player of the Year, David Greenwell from Kentucky, is the PDGA's all-time tournament and money winner. I asked David what he thought was the secret to his success.
Being loose and stretching and knowledge of the disc is really the most important things. If your body's loose and you know what the disc is going to do, it's a whole lot easier to play. It's more a question of blurring out everything around except for the basket. I try to focus on the basket, and when I get my focus, then I try to blur my eyes just a little bit so I can't see the distractions on either side.
Heading into the final 9, David Greenwell has a commanding 8-stroke lead. Don Wilczek is in second, followed by George Coffin and Canadian Glenn Whitlock. Greenwell on the tee. Greenwell, a very smooth player. And Greenwell lets go a roller. And that's got the perfect angle at the hole, but comes up a little bit short. The high grass slowing it down. Don Wilczek is up next. Don currently in second place. Don must be very happy with his comeback. 10 years off the tour, making a fine showing in Huntsville. And Don throws a roller. And that one's cutting strong along the grass, coming right up to the pin. Beautiful roller. Next up, George Coffin. And George's roller, not enough angle to turn into the hill on that one. And he's well left of the hole. Canadian Glenn Whitlock. And Glenn as well does not have the right angle on that shot, and it's going to end up far left of the basket. Now Whitlock from about 100 feet. And he's trying to float it in, but he goes 30 feet past the basket. Now George Coffin from 55 feet. And he's got enough on it. Oh, just off the top of the basket. Beautiful effort. Now Greenwell, 35 feet. Tough lie there, standing up against the tree. And there is an example of what makes David Greenwell one of the top players, if not the top player in the world. Whitlock for par. And now Don Wilczek for his birdie. Don with a very nice roller from about 20 feet here. Right in the middle of the chains. George Coffin, who bounced off the top of the basket, drops in his par. And as a light rain begins to fall here in Huntsville, cooling off both players and spectators, we'll move ahead to the 570-foot finishing hole. Don Wilczek here with his second shot. Don has found a great many changes in the game since he last played 10 years ago.
But the technology since I've been out is just unbelievable.
long holes used to be 300 feet, and now at Round Rock there's 1,000-foot holes, and people could throw them 500 or 600 feet.
Here's Wilczek for par. And he lofts it in, finishing a great week of golf. Now here's George Coffin, who should finish third here with this putt, and he drops it in. Now Greenwell, the icing on the cake, drops it in. David Greenwell, a real class act, receiving congratulations. David Greenwell, the second year in a row, Masters champion. And here are the final results for our top 8 players in the Masters division. And we'll be right back to Huntsville for the finish of our Men's Open division.
Serious times demand serious men.
Hard work is the reward for hard work.
Tenacity, gumption, discipline.
Sometimes you've got to stop and smell the pizza.
Ken Climo is the 3-time PDGA World Champion. Climo flies Innova Champion discs. For everything from long, wide-open drives to the finesse required on a densely wooded course, Innova Champion has the discs you need. For power and performance, fill your bag with the best. Innova, the disc of champions.
They'll try to bury the competition. Number 1 ranked Pete Sampras, Michaels, Chang, and Steve. No one is safe. It's open season. Volvo Tennis LA.
The world's best push the edge. The chalk, the talk, the walk. Not your typical players, not your typical game.
Volvo Tennis of Los Angeles. Live beginning tonight at 10:30 on Sports South.
Moving back to play in our Men's Open division, we're going to the beautifully dangerous hole 7 of the final 9. Dean Tannick remains 3 shots off Climo's lead. Tannick on the tee. Light rain falling here. Tannick's been trying to keep the disc dry. And Tannick launches it out over the water, looking strong, just over the edge and skipping up 45, 50 feet away from the basket. He's got to be happy just to be across the water there. Now Ken Climo. Climo's been playing it fairly safe this round. Steps right up and launches it across. And yes, he's playing it well over the water. He's going to be a good 100 feet, 120 feet away from the basket. Now John Brooks. Brooks has really been attacking every hole on this final 9. And this hole is no exception as Brooks launches it well out toward the middle of the water, and it's going to be close. And that shot speaks for itself, skipping off the pavement. Brooks acknowledging the cheers from the gallery. Now Mitch McClellan, who's also 3 strokes off Climo. Checking the wind there. Very slight, 5 miles an hour perhaps. And that disc is in trouble. That is not going to make it across the water. And McClellan, he's laughing at this, but he's got to be disappointed here. That pretty much ends his chances of catching Kenny Climo. Now here's Climo with his second shot. And he's playing it safe. He's just laying it up, bouncing it off the pole. Now Tannick. He needs a birdie here to have any chance of catching Climo. Climo's not going to make any mistakes. Tannick's got to make a move here. And no, he appears to be laying it up, holding on to second. Now here's the 4th shot for McClellan. And from 40 feet, he drills it right in the center of the chains. And John Brooks, who's put it about 3 feet away on this 420-foot hole. Taking his time, dropping it in. And now, with all but our lead group in the clubhouse, let's run down the scoreboard. Back over on the 8th hole of the final 9, Tanik has rolled OB. This is his 3rd shot. Oh, when he's hit the tree there, he's going to have a 40-foot putt for his bogey 4. His 2nd place finish looks in jeopardy now. And Climo, that was for 3. He also rolled OB. He'll drop it in for a bogey 4. Now McClellan. This is for birdie. And he is just off to the right. Now Tanik for bogey 4. And Tanik misses. He's going to take a double bogey 5. And John Brooks, he drops in his 4th straight birdie, and the battle for 2nd place is on. Climo now leads Tanik by 4, and McClellan and Brooks are 5 behind. 2nd place is wide open. And when we return to Huntsville, the final hole of the 1993 World Championships of Disc Golf.
Once my mom sat down to read us all a story, and just as she started, the phone rang. It was Aunt Doris. Then a salesman called. Then a wrong number. Then Aunt Doris called again. And then Mom kind of lost it and said, "Kids, we're going to Pizza Hut." Boy, was it good. It's like Mom says, "Kids, sometimes you gotta stop and smell the pizza."
The Rocket City Chain Gang is the South's premier flying disc sports club. Headquartered in high-tech Huntsville, Alabama, the Chain Gang has been spreading the joy of disc golf for more than 15 years through youth instruction, public demonstrations, and amateur, professional, and charitable competitions. But you don't have to be from Rocket City to enjoy the sport of the future. Support disc golf in your community today.
Ed Hedrick invented the disc golf pole hole.
We used to throw we'll throw to this pole first and we'll throw to that pole second, and we'll make up our own golf course. Then we formalized it in 1975 with this catching device that you see here on this course. Now we see the top of the pinnacle. This is the World Championship, where these people are so much better than us old guys that they're not even in the same game anymore. But
we're back at the 570-foot finishing hole of this tournament. Checking the fairways, tournament director Levon Wolf and co-director Bill Wagnon. And stepping up to the tee, John Brooks. And he's pushed it way right. That's heading toward the gallery and the road. And it's onto the road, across the road. He's out of bounds. And with that shot, there go his chances for catching 2nd place. McClellan on the tee. Now, play is stopped here with a flock of Canadian geese flying right down the fairway. McClellan waits for them to pass and steps up. And McClellan is playing it safe right down the middle of the fairway. He has a good 150 feet left to the hole. Now Climo. Climo wasting no time. And he's sent it down the left side of the fairway. It's all academic from here with a 4-stroke lead. Now Tanik. He needs to stay in the fairway to hold on to 2nd place. And he's playing it safe, and he's right down the fairway. Nice shot for Tanik. That's a big shot. He needs to get a 3 here to hold on to 2nd place. Now here's McClellan's 2nd shot. And he's throwing it high. It's coming down right at the basket. Beautiful shot. Now Tanek. And he takes a different approach. He's throwing it straight at the basket. Another nice shot. He'll have that left for 3. Now Brooks, bringing it in from out of bounds. This will be his 3rd shot after the penalty stroke. And Brooks is taking a run at the chains. And there he is, right under the basket. Now Climo. And Climo drops it in 15 feet away. Dean Tanek, this putt for 2nd place. And he's done it. Dean Tanek, in front of the hometown crowd, a great performance. Now here's McClellan. And with that putt, he finishes 3rd, acknowledges the gallery. Tanek and Brooks, good friends, having played together many years. Now Brooks. And Brooks finishes in 4th place. Brooks also a favorite of the gallery. And Ken Climo. For the 4th year in a row, Ken Climo, world champion of disc golf. Third place finisher, Mitch McClellan, is one of the great competitors of disc golf.
Well, I never gave up. You can always catch anybody at any time. Someone can take an 8 on a hole and you can take a 2. You never quit.
Was there any turning moment in the final 9 for you?
Yeah, when I threw in the lake. That was a turning point for me.
So you dropped that last putt in. What were you thinking?
I wasn't thinking at all, Michael. I was just enjoying the scenery, and just the whole gallery is just a fuzz behind me. But it was just fantastic, and I know my smile muscles must be hurt by now. But this is just great.
Ladies and gentlemen,
1993 world champion
Kenny Climo!
Kenny, 4 years in a row. How long can the dynasty keep going?
Oh, as long as I keep playing the way I'm playing. I can't be unhappy with anything. I'm playing the game great. Just got to keep rolling.
Well, you played an incredible week of golf. It's been great for all of us here. And from the 1993 PDGA World Championships, Kenny Climo, 4th year in a row, our world champion.
All right. Thank you.